Are property prices actually crashing? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and, well, I want to have a talk about some comments left by a viewer of the channel. And let's check this out because he's, well, searching for property up and down the east coast of New South Wales. And he's only seeing property prices crash. So he's going, Florian, why are you shilling that property prices are always going up? I'm only seeing them crashing. It's collapsing. Well, I may have been a bit dramatic there, but it is early in the morning for me to start recording. So let's have a look at this first. So hi, Heiser. I'm unsure about any price rises. My partner and I have been looking up and down the east coast, and we've only seen price declines of about 50 to 100 grand in the last 3 months. And I asked where it was. He replied, "New," and I don't know what's with these stupid username things. Or maybe that's just how I see it as a creator. I don't know. But his name's Jason. Newcastle, Lake Macquarie, Coffs Harbour, Ballina, and Tweeds Heads. I don't mean to be rude or anything, but you seem to be spruiking on your show a one-way bias. And okay, was it with regards to property going up? My response was that he's looking in the regions and he may be seeing the outcome of the green change from the mania peak. You know, I'd be shocked if they've fallen below pre-pandemic levels. And then I reiterated the fact that half of Australians live in 3 cities. So that's why it may feel like I'm only ever talking about Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, because I'm only ever talking about Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, because that's such a big part of our population growth and our housing demand. I mean, my father, when he moved here, he picked Melbourne. When he came over from Germany. His cousin picked Adelaide. Got off the boat, worked for Holden his whole life. Doesn't happen anymore, does it? So I've been looking at some other channels, particularly ones that were predicting huge property crashes in Canada and that just haven't materialized. And for those of you that are regulars of the channel, I've got an argument, 10 pillars supporting the housing market here in Australia. I know it's not fair. I know it kind of sucks, and our housing is not affordable to the average person anymore. But that doesn't mean that it's going to come tumbling down. So let's have a look at these areas that Jason's looking at. All really nice areas. Newcastle's a beautiful city. I've driven through Coffs there. When I went down to Canberra, I stopped there. Tweed Heads is fantastic. He's looking at really nice places in New South Wales to move. I don't blame him. So let's start off by looking at Newcastle, and we'll just jump. Hang on. Let me bring up the map here, and we will type in Newcastle, New South Wales. For those of you that don't know where we're visiting, come on, Google Earth. You can do it. My internet's on, isn't it? There we go. It's been a while since we've looked at Newcastle. I should turn on the construction apocalypse. I went here for a university trip. We were doing an architectural project in the middle of, where was it? The art gallery there. But no, Newcastle is a beautiful city. Let's see if we can jump in and see something. It's changed a lot from its mining days. Can we see some of the view here? Can we get right on the beach? Do they not have Google Earth? Oh, so here we are, guys. Newcastle. You could commute to Sydney from Newcastle. I know some people do. It's a couple of hours train ride. I bloody well wouldn't want to be doing it. But I mean, there you go. Beautiful part of Northern. Is it Northern Rivers? No. Northern Rivers is up further. It's the part of New South Wales that should pretty much become part of Queensland. Bit of bias there. So let's look at how property prices are doing in Newcastle, and I'll try and find a street view here. I want it to work now. There we go. Just needs to load up. Let's just randomly click there. Okay. I want street view. Does that work? Oh, come on. I can't. I'm getting so old now I can't even work these things. There we go. Come on. There we are. Okay, so there you go. Typical street that I randomly picked in Newcastle. Not bad. Nice little place. So let's have a look at the asking prices of Newcastle. We'll jump over here. Now, this is from SQM. This is weekly asking property prices. So this is from SQM Research, and this is weekly asking property prices. So we're seeing a bit of volatility here in the data because we're not getting as much as some of the other cities. But if we have a look here, we can see, okay, 2020, let's look at 2019. Boy, damn. 3 better, $1 million in Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, I got the name right. Okay, oh boy. Newcastle's gotten a lot more expensive than I realized. If we go back to here, it's 700 grand. It's more expensive than Brisbane. So if we look here, since 2019, we're still a couple of hundred grand, 20% up since then, since the mania period. Now, this is my point. When we're looking and discussing property prices, there can be short fluctuations. I mean, look here. There you go. Boom, down, up, down in March 2021, all over the place. Now, it depends on your time frame. If you're looking at property in a couple of months, you're going to see fluctuations. Is that going to be the crash that people are predicting? I would argue no. We need to look at long-term trends. Property is a long-term asset that people hold on to. Sure, there are a few people that jump in and out, they speculate, but how many people, I would argue the majority, I should do some research to confirm this, but I would argue the majority would hold it for a lot longer than other assets. It's a pain in the ass to get in and out of property. It's not like shares I can go now, sell some shares instantly. Precious metals, drive to the dealer, sell it in a day. Property, it takes time. Even just the settlement process can take a month or two, depending on what hoops you jump through and all the issues that happen. So even these daily, hedonic indexes things, they don't seem to make, I'll put the volume up a bit, they don't seem to make a lot of sense with regards to the property sector because it just is so slow. So we can see here, all homes change on the week previous. We'll ignore that. Let's look at 12 months change. So over 12 months, all homes are down 22.9%. They're down 17.8% over 12 months. So Newcastle has seen a decrease over the last year. So he's right here. But if we go to 3 years, we can see we're up 3%. 3 years per annum, we're up per annum change. We're down 0.6%. So for 3 years, they've been, since 2020, not that much movement. We can see here, because it's all over the place. You got all homes, 1.2 million here. But if we go a bit further back, then you're seeing the increase. So here's the thing, because I've been discussing this for years, I was bitching and moaning about housing not being affordable back when the bushfire was the biggest issue. That's what my frame of reference will always be. We haven't clawed back the COVID mania yet. So, I mean, okay, if you waited during the mania and didn't buy, that's probably a sensible thing. But does it really matter in the long term? Look here, what about here? We got units, 2-bedroom units. 12 months, 35% increase. 12 months change, 29.6% increase. Quarterly change, rolling, 20.2 and 10%. So combined, everything's up. But houses have dropped over the 12 months period. So there you go. So I'll say, he's right for houses over the 12 months. It has gone down in Newcastle. But the further out we get, it's gone up. So let's check. The next one is Lake Macquarie. So I'll jump over here. And we'll look at Lake Macquarie as an alternative. Come on. Macquarie. Spell that right? Yes. Okay, it's going a bit faster now. Remember when Google Earth was new, guys? Oh, it's awesome. Okay, so a bit more inland. Let's have a look here, the city of Lake Macquarie. Where can we... Let's zoom in. Here, look at the suburbs. Come on, Street View. Got a nice golf course. Could you commute from... Where's the train line? Let me turn on the train line. There's the roads. The train line's over here, isn't it? No, that's the highway. There we go. Could you commute from Lake Macquarie? Let me know, Sydney viewers, if you could, if it's feasible. Looks like a nice area. I mean, you're right near the water. Okay, let's go here. We'll go to Fishing Point Road here. There we go. This is where you'll be spending the big money. The big money for the views. Oh, look at this. We found a property for sale right here. Right here. Oh, look at that. You can see this type of stuff blowing up in price though, can't you? Can't you? I mean, I guess if you're working remotely, you could do it. Okay. We'll get it to load up. And let's jump over and look at Lake Macquarie property prices. And here we have the 2284. We can see back in 2019, all homes were 545 grand. So, not insane. A 3-bedder for under 500 grand. For a couple that are both earning 6 figures, that's very easily manageable. That's very low stress lifestyle there. That's kind of what you want, isn't it? But we have a look now. Okay, a 3-bedder, 850 grand. All homes, 886. Not as bad as Newcastle. Units all over the place. They've come down from 2022. 2-bedders, yeah, they're up. We look at 12 months. All homes are up 11.7. 3-bedders are up 16.6. All units are down over 12 months. 21.4. Probably because the market's getting flooded with units, I'd imagine. 2-bedders are up 0.6. Combined is 7.4. So here, houses have gone up. Definitely over the year. And units have gone down. So if you're shopping around for units, you might see a good deal here in Lake Macquarie over a 12-month period. But the further out we get, it's just all green. All green. Look at the 10-year per annum change. Oh, the Australian way, guys. The Australian way. Next one is good old Coffs Harbour. So let's check out where Coffs is. So, I don't know. It depends. If they're looking for houses, nope, they haven't gone up, or they haven't gone down in Lake Macquarie over the last 12 months. They've gone up. Apartments, maybe. You might have seen some deals. Okay, remember, this is asking prices. So this is the expectation that people have of what they're going to get. It may not actually be what they're getting, but we'll have to see. So let's have a look at Coffs Harbour now. Coffs Harbour, New South Wales. Come on. Here we go. Let me have a shot of coffee. Okay, here we go. Coffs. And, it's not. You can't do the commute to Sydney from Coffs, can you? It's too far. Coffs is definitely too far. You might as well commute to Brisbane. Where's Sydney? Not seen it? It's down there. Okay, yeah. Boy. Anyway, let's check out Coffs. I mean, again, all these beautiful areas where he's looking at buying. I don't blame you. Pretty lovely places. We'll just drop right here. Let's see what we see. I mean, there you go, guys. It's a bit more of a main street that we've got here. You could, wonder if you're zoned for commercial here or high density. I mean, there you go. Nice little seaside timber houses. Would have been much cheaper back in the day than now. Let's check out what the asking prices are for Coffs. So we'll bring this one up. And from SQM, okay. So we can see, oh boy, 2019, all homes or all houses, 690 grand. Now, 963,000. Combined from about 600, 860. 3-bedders, 570, up 829,000. There's green everywhere except over a rolling quarter, all units are just down 2.1%. 12-month change, all homes, 7.1 up, 3.9 up, 10.6 up, 9.8 up, 7.6 up. So we're not seeing a significant correction here at all. Not at Coffs, which isn't surprising. It's a beautiful place to live. I mean, if you've got to spend big money on a place to live, wouldn't you rather to be brutally honest, wouldn't you rather live like somewhere here, coughs, compared to all the bullshit of being inner city Sydney? In some tiny little wall-to-wall place where you could just walk to the beach. You'd have your lifestyle. I mean, you wouldn't even need to make as much money to have a happier life, honestly. Or is that? Oh, here we go. Look, we got beach views. Let's see what happens there. Oh, come on. Where are these photos? How's this thing work now? Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so if I click on that, I'm meant to go there, aren't I? There we go. Oh, there, buy that. What? It's probably a surf club. Okay, so would you rather be walking distance to here or living in inner city Sydney or even Brisbane? That's nice. That's nice. So, yeah, coughs, we're not seeing any discounts, at least not in the asking prices. It's still going up. What's next on the list? The next one is Ballina. So if we have a look here, this is Ballina, and we'll jump over and let's find out where Ballina is for everyone. And Jason, you got some pretty good good choices in where you're looking to live, mate. I love it. It's good. I hope you find something. Okay, where are we going? Okay, Ballina, further north. How far are we going? Where are we here? Yeah, you couldn't make the commute to Brisbane. It'd be too much of a pain in the ass. Going from the Gold Coast is a pain then, but there you go, Ballina. Have I been to Ballina? I don't know. Maybe I have. Maybe I've driven through it, going camping. Let's have a look here. Let's see what we can get. Suburbs. There you go. Nice wide streets, decent trees, good frontage. I mean, yeah. I mean, can you complain, guys? Can you complain? What would you rather live, inner city or here? The thing is work opportunities. If you work remote, but I mean, a lot of people did the green change, and a lot of them realize you don't have the same services and amenity as in the city. That's the issue. Oh, there we go. It suddenly got a lot more depressing. There we go. That changes it. It's amazing what difference the clouds will make. So let's check out the property prices here in Ballina. And again, okay, we're seeing some red. All homes in 2019 combined all houses 771,000. Now they really shot. Look at that, 1.6 million in April 2022. And it's come down to just $1 million. So they've lost 20% since then. So you can see the 12-month change is still a 1% increase. But that'd be a big move. That'd have to be a few. We need to see the numbers of how much data is being fed into this, because that could be a few outliers just pulling up those prices, some really luxurious top-end properties pulling it up. But you can see there still, from pre-pandemic levels, we're still up. From 700 grand, 600 grand to over $1 million. We're still up. 3 bedders, $927,000. Pre-pandemic levels, what are we looking at here? Under 700 grand, guys. So, I mean, if you bought right here at 2022, you're going to be stinging. You're going to be stinging. But if you bought here, you'll be fine. Now, here's the thing when we hear all the doom and gloom about, people locking in their mortgages. How many of the people bought back here and are just looking at all this stuff and thinking, this is insane? How many of you have done that? Seen your property just go, skyrocket, and then come back down and then go up again. It made no difference to you because you're living in it or you're renting it out or it's an investment. I mean, how many people would have jumped on this to leverage the capital, the equity, to borrow more and more and more and build up their empire? So yeah, I mean, we're seeing all units are down over a 12-month period, 12% down, 13.1% down, 2.1% all combined. So Ballina isn't doing as well as some of the other parts. It seems much more volatile. Houses, you're still up. 3 betters are down from 12 months. But there's been some crazy moves. So I could imagine, I wouldn't be surprised if you're seeing big moves in Ballina compared to other places. I bet you there's some people that bought in here, investors, thought it was the next big thing, and are now, this ain't worth it. I wouldn't be surprised there. Now, the final one that we're going to look at is Tweed Heads. So, a bit closer to Queensland. Should pretty much become part of Queensland, but that's my bias there. Tweed Heads. Here we go. Beautiful part of, all of the along the coast. Yeah, there's some beautiful areas. We got married here, didn't we? Moba. Places. Hang on. I'll show you. Completely off topic. Where is it? The gallery. Here. That's where we had our reception. At the regional gallery there. It was wonderful. And I think we actually had our wedding here. There we go, right there. Cost us $50. $50. What is it now? Food hub. The celebrant we had for our wedding, he's actually in the same industry. I think he's BD for a builder or a design firm or something. So I bumped into him at stuff. Poor guy is now, divorced, marriage didn't last. Which is kind of sad, really, Yeah, the suburban home, wife, young kid, we went all there, and he's doing the celebrant stuff. Yeah, oh well. Anyway, let's look at Tweed. Let's find something nice here in Tweed. We'll just drop it in. Come on. Honestly, I prefer some of the other areas compared to Tweed myself. But that just could be my bias coming through. Here we go. Let's just have a look. Again, you're like minutes away from the beach. But look at all the cars. Look at the density you've got here. Going to be a bit busier, honestly, than some of the other towns. But that's just how it is. See, more palm trees. It's getting a bit more subtropical than what you were looking at before, but still, lovely area. Let's have a look at the prices now. We're looking at here at Tweed Heads. Okay. We can see, look at that, guys. Look at the mania there. Okay, 2019, 600 grand for all houses. 600 grand. Okay, it's not insane. Not insane, 600 grand. 100 grand for your deposit, 500, $500,000, you'll be paying it off. You'll find a way to do it. But it went nuts, guys. This is what I'm talking about when I say mania. This is mania. Okay? Just think about that. You bought a place for 600 grand. You could sell it for 1.4 million, or 1.4 was the asking price then. So, yeah, it went insane. It certainly went insane. Then it came right back down, but it didn't. Its low wasn't at pre-COVID levels. We haven't got back to those pre-mania levels when we were already bitching about property prices. So if we see it jumped up again and now back down. So it seems like a very volatile market there. Over 12 months, all houses are up 18.2. 3 betters, 26.7% up over 12 months. We've got all units are down, 6.11. So they're, change on the previous week. I don't know. If you're not looking at anything less than 12 months, I'm not. It just seems too frequent. Like they've got daily prices. It's crazy. But anyway, two betters down 6.7%. And all combined is just up 5.5. But we can see houses. Look at that volatility there, everyone. That's just nuts. So yeah, if you bought in July, this is the thing. You're going to see people that entered the market at these crazy times. So they bought during the mania. So you'll see some of them exiting the market. I would not be shocked that if people are buying at these crazy levels, are going, exiting, or if they've got enough, they'll just hold. So there you have it, guys. So over a 12-month period, we're not seeing decreases unless you're looking at units in tweed heads, which, yeah, I mean, units are never going to be as desirable as houses. So let's have a bit of a chat about this one, guys. So thanks, Jason, for putting that question to me. And sure, I'm not surprised you're seeing some movements in property, particularly at the moment now with uncertainty with regards to interest rates, economic uncertainty depending on what sector you work in. But it all comes out to your time frame, okay? If you had a bought 12 months ago in a lot of these places, you'd still be fine, even with property going up and down. So it depends. If you're trying to time the market, it's tough. It is difficult to time the market. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. They'd be timing it perfectly. A shitload of people didn't. They bought during the mania. They bought at crazy levels. I mean, we saw it on the Gold Coast. Someone had dressed up a standard spec home with a bit of render. It sold for an insane amount near the suburb where I grew up in. It was crazy. But it was an interstate buyer that had no idea what they were doing. I wonder how much of that we're seeing here. So yeah, I'm still arguing that we're seeing property prices going up. You need to pin your frame of reference. Mine will always be pre-pandemic, because even then we were complaining that prices were not affordable. So, people were predicting a property price bubble then and a crash then. And what's happened? It's just gone up. And since then, I've been looking at this entire sector much more, and I've become much more skeptical of it. You know what? I'll bring up my template here with property prices and we'll go through it again because I think we need to, just to remember, because these are the pillars of the housing market, and there we go. And I'm going to add some more onto there because our regional planning here in Queensland, the Southeast Queensland Regional Plan, is just going to be another pillar to this. You can see United Nations sustainability agendas flow all the way through the Southeast Queensland Regional Plan, which councils are being encouraged to adopt because of Labor's new housing policy. Now, there's no way that's going to change. If you vote a new government in power, they're not going to change that regional plan. It's already set there in place. It'll be there for the next decade. One example is, here in Queensland, they've flipped from minimum number of car parks to maximum number of car parks. So just think about how that's going to affect a whole lot of developments and moving forward. So we'll look at that in greater detail. Rachel's going through it now, but it just shows you the link all the way through. So let's look at these pillars, as I call them, of the housing market. Non-performing loans is still a tiny fraction, guys. We're not seeing a huge flood of people getting desperate and flowing to the market. Sure, there's articles on news.com.au, and I'll go through them about the RBA's secret documents where they're talking to debt helplines. And honestly, I'd argue that's more just people never having lived through a recession as a professional and probably having to budget for the first time in their life. Okay, you've got migration is returning. People are coming back to Australia. As much as we all love to bitch and moan about Australia, it's a safe, boring country. So people will come here. They will continue to come here. The stuff we bitch about is not as bad as other parts of the world. It's still pretty bloody good. So that's going to increase demand. You've got the construction apocalypse. Now, we're over 100 videos in this playlist of builders going under, left, right, and center. Part of the reason I would argue for this is that, well, they changed the rules and allowed businesses to trade while insolvent. And we have no living memory of real inflation, so it's caused a whole lot of problems. You've got as well government support for the housing market or using the housing market to stimulate the economy. It's just ingrained into our culture now. You've got home builder. The cash rate would crash down. You've got grants up to 88 grand. You've got 5 and 2% government guaranteed loans. Negative gearing is part of our culture. You have super withdrawals and we have shared equity. So all of this is supporting the housing market, guys. Zombie companies kept alive. I mean, there you go. You've got reducing supply with the not in my backyard crowd, making it more and more difficult. You've got market competition. 50% of people live in these 3 cities. This is why it feels like we're only ever talking about Sydney, Melbourne, and to a lesser extent Brisbane, because that's half our property market. There's a whole lot of parts in this country you don't want to live in because they're shit, okay? People get paid good money to fly out in the middle of nowhere to earn coin, and then they go back home. NCC changes, driving up building costs. Here was a prediction of a 30% increase. You've got energy efficiency changes. Now you need a 7-star in New South Wales. That's driving up costs for every house, 16 grand. It's not going away. That's the culture we have. That's what people are calling for. That's what young people are voting for. They're voting for legislation which is going to make housing less affordable for them. It's awesome. And I get people just don't see it, or they don't care. We've got the APRA interventions. They're going to change the rules as necessary to ensure, I'm trying to get my audio right here, to ensure that they won't choke out the market. You know, they've got the 3% buffer. They'll change that if necessary. You've got family support. Majority of the viewers of this channel will support family to keep them in their house. And I think that's widespread. You've got the FOMO impact. We saw the crazy changes in property prices just in these examples, particularly during the mania period. But of the 10.5 million dwellings, only 600,000 of those flipped in 2021. And if we say the high risk of the 2%ers, it's only 10,000. So while our government is doing stuff that sounds like it's making a difference and having a big impact, sure, for those 10,000 people, it may be an opportunity, or it may be pushing them too far beyond their means. It's not like America. In America, you had a pulse, you got a mortgage. In America, your skin color affected your ability to get a home loan. They made it easier. It's insane what they did over there. They just threw all the sensible rules out the window. It was ideological. And that's part of the reason that the GFC occurred. And then you've got a demographic shift here. We don't need as many houses. Our families are not as big, so we need more smaller houses. We don't need as many bigger houses. So, guys, those are what I call the 12 pillars. Or what are we, 12 now? 9, 10 pillars. I've got a few more as well that I will have to add to this. So let's jump over here. So, yeah, what do you reckon? Thank you for sending making the comment, Jason. And I think you can see where I'm coming from, mate. I'm not just spruiking property is always going up, always going up. I'm just looking at the numbers. Okay? I mean, here's the thing. You've got to remember the media will constantly, they'll be hyper vigilant for any negative news because it gets a lot of views. You can make an entire career on YouTube just constantly spruiking doom and gloom. There's a whole economic genre of that. Now, I can't do that because I'm too happy. My life is too good. And so, I see all this constant, the world's coming to an end, this is going to collapse, it's all bullshit. People will just repeat it to make money. That's what it is, okay, guys? You can make good money, depending on your audience. If you want to, here's an alternative income stream. Tap into the US Duma market. Okay? But are you just spreading fear for the sake of it? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thank you for leaving the comment, Jason. And good luck finding a new place. It looks like you're looking at some bloody good places. I'm a little jealous. Go on, Coffs. Coffs is nice. Ballina. Get yourself something nice near the beach and just laze on the laptop and relax with a good Bundy. As always, thanks for watching. Check out HeiseBim or HeiseDoes if you want to see some of my other videos. If you want to support us, you can on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call me if you need an architect. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.